Here's how to make a successful promotional announcement on Udemy, along with the maximum ways to get results out of any promotional announcement or similar email you're having generated on a third-party platform. So the big difference in doing something like email marketing with a Udemy promotional announcement versus having your own MailChimp or other email marketing is you want to capitalize on the Udemy aspects of what you're sending rather than anything else. So that means you want a very clear, focused message that gets people to Udemy versus trying to get people to your website or having them share social media accounts or all these different things that you can do in other formats. You just want a simple, focused announcement with a clear call to action. So not too long, not too short, and you only want one thing at a time. If you're doing your own email marketing, it can be tempting to give people a lot of different links to your website, to share all of your different channels. On this, you'll notice as I'm making this promotional announcement, so I went through to do the work before doing this with you, and now I'll show you it right as I send it. So you want to have everything focused. There's only one link I try and get people to click. There's 4 different links in here, and it's set up to accommodate every kind of person all in one email. Now, this is much the same as you might do promoting your product to an email list. What I want to do in this that's a little different is make sure people realize it's on Udemy, and that will help me stay consistent and get sales. So for example, I've included only one picture in here. I've seen other instructors send promotional announcements, and the only picture I want in here is one people will click on and recognize. I just want them to see that this is a Udemy course. I don't need them to see my face, although I guess it is down here. I just want them to see something recognizable. It's a Udemy course with everything they already know from Udemy. If you're doing your own email marketing, it can be tempting to send out all kinds of nice pictures and things like that. When you're using another system, you want to keep things simpler. And that means just one picture, and it should be recognizable by the Udemy brand. So what I do to do that is I just take a screenshot of my course on Udemy. I want everything consistent, no surprises. So I just go to my instructor profile, I print screen, capture this, and then cross out the price and then put my special deal on it. So the main thing you can do to make your announcements better is just put one picture in there that's exactly with whatever you are using. So if this is on Facebook, if you're trying to send Facebook messages, you don't even need a picture in there. If you're using another thing to send messages, keep it consistent. Then I start with text, I put a picture in the middle, and then I wrap it up with text. The idea is this is a Udemy promotional announcement. I have very short window to capture attention, and ultimately it needs to be in writing. So the picture is there if people want to see it. But the first thing I want to put is the writing in here, because when I get a promotional announcement with a picture right away, I often just ignore it, because I get lots of promotional announcements with a bunch of pictures in them. And if I wanted to look at pictures, there's a lot of other places I'd go. I'd probably just go on Facebook and look at pictures. This is to try and communicate the value of my course, and for that I usually need words. In the first sentence, if you think of the 80-20 rule, 80% of your results are going to come from the first sentence. So you very clearly want to do a good first sentence. I'll show you a couple of other emails that have done the same thing, and this is how the email actually looks. So you know Udemy's already burned up the first sentence, so you've got a very short window to keep their attention, and you ultimately need to do it with a question is how I like to do it. Something that will get the person to start off saying yes, and at the same time that will disqualify people who say no. because I don't want people to get tired of my promotional announcements. So an easy way to do that is to encourage them to quickly at least read it and see if it applies. If they say want to learn about YouTube and they say no, then good, they can just leave, and then maybe next time when they see how would you feel if you could use Twitter, then they might go farther into it. So you'll notice both of these successful sales emails have used the exact same format. They start out with a question, and this one uses a more complicated question, giving exact details of the outcome as well as asking them how they feel, so they would conjure up a feeling in there. Whereas this one's more simple. Both of these worked. This one just says want to learn about YouTube. So ultra simple. And then the one I'm doing now, do you want to discover your true learning potential that is far beyond what you ever imagined? Somewhat of a synergy between the other two. So I like to start out with a question because you want to get people thinking. What I don't want to do is just start off with something like unlock your super learning skills now and give a coupon code. I want people to start their mind actively thinking, to get a little bit excited right at the beginning. So any message you send should have that same element in it, especially if it's on some other platform besides Udemy. You've got to start off with a question. You ultimately want the conversation going. Even for selling a product, you want to explain the value of it, usually in a question just like this. And then from there, you're working with the people who have an open mind. So this announcement's going out to 8,000 people. Probably 7,000+ will just quickly look at it and say no, or they won't have time, or they won't read the email, or it'll be one of 100 other emails they get, so they'll just go on past it. All of the rest of this email is for those people that are more interested and take the time to actually read it. So I don't have to convince anyone past the first question in here. I only speak to the people who are answering yes, and then I go through my sales pitch here, and I start off with it for lazy people. And I say lazy, we all have lazy in us. I'm very often lazy, and I capitalize on my laziness by setting my life up to handle it. This email is set up to handle someone who immediately wants to look at the course. They don't want to read my sales pitch. They'd rather click on it and go look straight at the actual course. So the course has a coupon linked to it immediately to start. So you can do it in my new course immediately. So the sooner you can put your call of action in for people who don't want to read through all of your sales pitch, the better. And then from there, I continually go on with more of the sales pitch for people who want to read the full thing. Because some people will want to look straight at the course. They won't care exactly what I have to say about it because they know they can just go read the course, watch the promo video, etc. So I've got a link for them immediately, but at the same time, it's just bold and it's highlighted, so it's not as much of a direct link. For the people who want to read a little bit more, then I've got a few more sentences explaining exactly what you get out of the course, and then my first call to action right here with the image. So then that gives me the chance, the people that just want a quick summary, but they don't want to just immediately look at the course, that's a little bit more of a sell for them. And then I have the course image for people who prefer to just look at an image and click on it. And note that it's down here instead of up there. Finally, for the people, probably about 1% who want to actually go through and read the whole email before deciding whether they should click it or not, I then have many more selling points that go deeper into the course, and I have gratitude down here that also explains why they're getting this. So if someone is looking through like, man, I just got another promotional announcement from you earlier, I have gratitude and an explanation of why they're getting this. Any message you send on a platform like this, it's very important to communicate why the person's getting this. On Udemy, it may not be clear to a student why they're getting promoted one of your courses. On Facebook, if you're sending messages, same thing. It may not be clear why you're getting a message. That's a big difference from doing your own email marketing, where it's very obvious why you're getting an email from someone because you had to have opted in or done some other action. So you always want to explain towards the end why they're getting it and use gratitude. So I use it like that. But you can do it different ways. And you want to do that because the unsubscribe button's toward the bottom. And while Udemy eats the unsubscribes, Udemy eats the spam reports, I still don't want to be generating negative feedback for Udemy and especially for my students. So I try and include gratitude here, and then I always try and say something like, I appreciate you taking the time to read this, because the very few people that go all the way to the bottom, I want to make sure that I'm keeping those niche people happy. So probably 99% of people won't read that much. They'll either skip it or they'll go straight to the course. But the 1%ers that are likely to leave a review, that are likely to engage, that are likely to send me a message or post a discussion after getting this, I want to make sure I'm treating them good. So you'll note when you're sending a promo message, there's a lot of different elements to include here. You want the clear question to start, an immediate opportunity for a gentle call to action, a more specific call to action, one picture that matches branding, and then farther down, more details, gratitude, and then a call to action to wrap it up, and then sincerely or some other type of signature. Now, before you use any third-party system to send, whereas if you're doing something like MailChimp, it will save really well, what you want to do is control copy. So I select everything and control copy, so that if something happens to this, Udemy, you often will get a 503 error. So if something happens to this, I want to make sure I can just paste that in when I go back to this. I do not want to lose all that work I just did. So often what I'll do is Control A, Control C. I'll bring up a Word document, paste it right in there. Just in case there's a problem, I've got it copied and pasted. And then what I do also is I double check the links, right click new window. Looks like the coupon code worked there. Right click, new incognito window. There we go. The promo code works there. You want to make sure all of your links work, because there's few things that are more disappointing than reading an email like this and having the links not work. So once I've double checked everything, this is going out to 8,000 people. I want to double check it, but I don't want to be a perfectionist about it. So the first sentence, do you want to discover your true learning potential that is far beyond what you ever imagined? Okay, that reads pretty good. And then I'm feeling pretty comfortable to send it. You can read your entire email out loud if you want. That'll help you make sure everything's good. So now that I've got this, I control, again, I try and make sure I never lose anything. I scroll down to the bottom and I hit send. And it actually worked. And there, when you have done it right, then this is what you will see. And this is now going out to 8,000 people. So thank you for watching this, and I hope this has been helpful for you.